Welcome to my channel, Bring Peace into Your Life. Today I would like to talk about the need for control and how it affects our mental health. The need for control comes from a deeply seated emotional and psychological driver, often tied to our desire for safety and certainty. Some of the core causes are fear of uncertainty. Unknown can be scary, and control can seem like a way to prevent negative outcomes. If you've had past experiences where you've faced disappointment, trauma, and chaos, taking control is a coping mechanism to avoid reliving those feelings. When people have issues with low self-esteem and low self-worth, taking control and controlling outcomes can feel like you are showing that you're competent and showing that you're valuable. But if things go wrong, it looks like you're not good enough. And when you have low self-esteem and low confidence, it means that you feel that you're not enough and you're not capable of doing things. So when you do take control and try to control every situation, it's like you're trying to prove your worth and your value. Many people have a fear of judgment, and controlling events can help them try to avoid criticism or disapproval from others. So if they are in control, if they're seen to be in control and be able to handle and manage things, it means that there's less chance of being criticised or shown disapproval for the person that they are or the things that they're doing. And that can be really critical if someone has low self-esteem and low self-worth, to actually show their value. A need for control impacts every aspect of life, from mental health to relationships and daily functioning. It can lead to chronic stress and anxiety. Constantly monitoring and trying to shape our outcomes keeps your nervous system on high alert, and this causes fatigue, irritability, and panic. It also can add to feelings of overwhelm. Trying to manage everything leaves no room for rest or self-care. The need for control leads to rigidity of thought, and this makes you struggle to adapt to change and leads to frustration. It can also lead to feeling guilty or to having self-blame because you end up being a perfectionist, and perfectionism in control then leads to mental health issues. This can then lead to difficulty within relationships, either at home, in your personal life, or at work. People can often feel disrespected and suffocated when their partner needs control, and it can often make difficulty in a working environment because working with groups can be difficult for someone who wants to control everything, and it can also lead to conflict. As a result, this can then lead to isolation. Letting go of control is important. Letting go of control reduces stress, anxiety, and burnout by freeing us from the impossible burden of managing every outcome. It builds resilience as we learn to adapt to uncertainty rather than fighting it. It also strengthens relationships. When we stop trying to dictate others' actions, we foster trust, respect, and genuine connection. Additionally, it opens the door to new opportunities and creativity that rigid planning might block. The need for control can actually lead to missed opportunities, because if you're in control of everything or you're trying to control everything all of the time, you really miss opportunities that come into your life because you are so rigid in what you're doing and you don't actually live your life on a daily basis. You're so focused on planning, when is something coming up, dates in the calendar, making sure everything's planned and managed and controlled, that you actually miss living within daily life, and that can mean leading to missed opportunities. It can also lead to burnout. If you are controlling everything in your life and everybody in your life, or the relationships and things that people are doing in your life, it can really lead to burnout because all your thoughts are on managing and controlling and trying to manage the outcomes and make sure the outcomes are what you want them to be. In that respect, there is no room for self-care. There is no room to rest. And what happens is you completely burn yourself out because you take control of everything. You don't delegate anything. You don't allow other people to be part of decisions. It's all on you, and all on you making those decisions and dealing with those issues. And therefore, there is no sharing of responsibility and burden. Everything is on your shoulders and you're taking that on. Many clients that I speak to who have issues with control get to a point where they're burnt out. They really can't cope. And when they're talking to me, they're saying, I'm stressed, I'm anxious, I'm worried all the time, I'm in a hyper state of awareness. I'm constantly thinking and worrying about what's coming up, what's happening, what's going on, what I can do to control situations and make sure the outcomes are the right ones for me. And that then leads to extreme burnout because there is no room for just being. It's all about planning and control and outcomes. This in turn then limits the person's growth because they're not actually working on themselves, they're working on controlling everything so that they don't feel out of control and so that they don't feel any disappointment. And the difficulty is in life, we can't control everything. We can control some things. There's things that we can and can't control, but we can't control everything. We can't control everybody. We cannot control every scenario. And when we try to control all of that, all our energy is going into trying to control it, when actually that means that we're not actually living within the situation and enjoying life and being able to enjoy our family, our connections, events that are happening, because we're so on hyper alert to make sure that nothing goes wrong. And that is a really difficult way to live. The intent of taking control is often to create safety, but the need for control can end up creating the very stress and instability that you are trying to avoid. And that's the difficulty. So we need to look at how can you stop looking at the need for control and actually be able to live your life and reduce your stress and anxiety rather than adding to it by having these rigid ideas of what should and shouldn't happen and this need for control. I think it's really important to look at how to let go of control. So, recognising what we can and can't control is really important. If you focus on your energy, on your own actions and choices and responses, those things are within your control. You also have to look at accepting that others' decisions, external events, and random chance are not in your control. And if you try to control these situations, it just becomes frustrating and it produces a lot of anxiety. Practicing mindfulness can be really helpful in this. So, staying grounded in the present moment instead of worrying about future outcomes or even worrying about what has come and things in the past. Techniques like deep breathing or meditation can help you observe your anxious thoughts about taking control without acting on them. It gives you a moment to step back and think about your thoughts and why you're having those thoughts before jumping right in and trying to take control. I have some videos on this that may be helpful. I have some guided visualization and also some mindful music where you can relax yourself and look at practicing mindfulness. It's really important to work towards embracing imperfections. So, letting go of the need for things to be perfect and understanding that mistakes and unexpected twists are natural parts of life and are often lead to growth and things that you may never have thought would have happened, but really bring joy and happiness into your life. Many people I talk to who have issues with control really like to control everything around them, even in work and also in relationships and home life. So things like the cleaning, the cooking. But if you can delegate tasks and trust others, it can be really helpful. And if you can take steps towards that, it can really make you feel a lot better within yourself. In work or personal relationships, assigning tasks to other people you trust and trying to resist the urge to micromanage them can be really helpful. This actually lightens your load and helps other people to develop skills, because if you always take control and you always do things, there is no room for other people to learn and grow, and there's also no room for you to relax and take a step back. If you can start looking at uncertainty as an opportunity to learn rather than a threat, this can be really helpful. It takes time, but it's about thinking, if you're not in control of stuff, what could happen? What good things could happen in your life? Try to ask yourself, what is the worst that could happen? And if the worst happens, how would you handle it? This can reduce the fear that drives the need for control. Taking small steps is important when you're trying to let go of control. So look at something that is a low stake situation, like picking what to have for dinner or picking what restaurant you want to get a takeaway from. If you can start letting other people have these decisions and take control over that, it can actually give you a lot of space just to breathe and just to be and be mindful, and that can be really helpful. This can then lead to you building your confidence in handling unpredictability and your confidence in yourself that if something does go wrong, you can handle it and you can step in and take control of the situation if needed. Thank you so much for watching my video. If this has helped you, I'm really happy about that. If you would like to make any comments about what has helped you when you've found it difficult to let go of control, that would be great, and you never know who you're going to help. So thanks again, and I hope to see you in the next video.